Welcome back to Your Road to Home, a podcast that takes you beyond your front door here in the Carbon Valley, where we help you to meet local business leaders, business owners, and maybe even your neighbor. I'm Kendra Badgekar with LPT Realty, here with
Maxine Carey at Guardian Mortgage.
Today we are picking up Kelly Martindale, and if you've lived in the Carbon Valley for any amount of time, you know that she is the owner of the Consumer Report for Carbon Valley, and we can't wait to share her story with you guys.
Here she's getting in. Sorry, Kelly, I was a little bit late, wasn't I?
No worries at all.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. We're so excited to have
about
you with
you?
us today.
How about you guys? How are you doing?
A little sweaty, but good.
Yeah.
It's a Monday at month end, so I'm a little bit hairy.
Well, that's
Yes.
what I usually am.
Yes.
But my paper got done last Thursday, so
Oh, good. Oh,
Good
so
for
you're
you.
nice and relaxed today.
so a little bit, yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day
Yeah.
to spend with us.
You're very welcome.
Excited to have you. So we're... Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Were you gonna say something?
no.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you have lived in Carbon Valley for any amount of time, you know Miss Kelly Martindale, and you've seen her Consumer Report. You probably get it delivered to your house. If you're thinking about moving to the area, she's your gal to keep you informed of all things Carbon Valley, including Meade and Erie. So, Kelly, why don't we start with how you got started in journalism and where you're at today? I mean, you've had this newspaper since 1999, right?
Correct.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Let's hear how we got here.
We moved here in 95, so we've been here just short of 30 years.
Wow.
We were the very first new housing development built here. Those 2-3 blocks that you just were on.
No way.
Yeah, so this was all field and no grocery stores besides the tiny little mom and pop grocery stores. It was
Oh wow. Did you still have
Fantastic.
Esches out here at that time?
no, Esches is new in
Okay.
comparison.
Okay, fair enough. Wow.
So I worked in Longmont for about just short of 5 years before I decided I was tired of driving back and forth. My kids went to school in Longmont and I worked in Longmont, and I really wanted to write full time. So I just really started praying about how I could make a living with my writing, and I started working for the Farmer and Miner, which was an old newspaper that eventually they sold out, and I wish I had bought it personally, but I didn't. I couldn't afford it at the time. But I started with the Farmer and Miner. I interviewed business owners, which is what I do with my newspaper. And the first year I started as a coupon mailer.
Oh,
So
gosh.
I sold ads for coupons, and then I designed them and got them printed by a local printer. And then I had all my kids and their friends would come over into my living room with thousands of pieces of paper, and we sorted them and stapled them and folded them and got them already labeled, and we would mail them. But when I started doing bulk mailing, even our postmasters didn't know how to do them. So where I was printing out labels and putting them on every single paper, now of course we learn.
Right, yes.
Just print it right on paper.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we went through a lot of growing pains, but after I was nearing my 1-year anniversary, and I wanted to get some much more, larger clients, and one of them that I wanted was Formby Ford when they first moved out here, and I had been talking to them when they were still in Fort Lupton, but one of the brothers kept looking at my coupon mailer and scowling. He was like, you could just tell he thought, why would I want to be in a coupon mailer? And right then, sitting in his office, I knew I was going to change it from that format to a newspaper.
Wow.
And so
That's amazing.
January 1, that's what I did. In my first anniversary, I changed to the newspaper format. It was only 4 pages, and it's grown. It's been as much as 32 pages, but now it's right around 8 to 16, just depending on advertising, because that's how it pays for itself.
That's amazing. question. How many homes do you distribute to on average?
Well, we go to all the Frederick, Firestone, and Tacona homes, and then we reach the outskirts of Erie and Meade. And there was a time when I actually did an individual Meade newspaper and an individual Erie newspaper, so I was doing 3
Oh, wow.
monthly.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
but
amazing.
if the communities don't want to invest in the advertising, it's pretty tough to just keep printing and mailing to those communities. So I still put all of the Erie and Meade information into the Carbon Valley issue, and then we distribute digitally, so it still gets some good reach that way.
Perfect. That's awesome. Wow. So we kind of went over what motivated you to create your own newspaper. How do you balance all of the different roles that you have? Because I mean, you're writing. Do you do some speaking as well too? Did I find that online?
I used to do speaking more often. I don't speak all that often now, rarely, but I would. Juggling is a big thing because the only reason why my newspaper, I think, has made it out here versus the other ones, because there's been about a half a dozen, including the Times to Call, who have tried to come out here, but they haven't made it, is because I do absolutely everything.
Right.
So I do the ad sales, I design the ads, I interview people, write the articles, I design the whole newspaper, I send it to press. It used to be delivered to my house where I would sort and get it ready for mailing, and then I took the tubs to all the different post offices.
Oh my gosh.
But now I do pay a gentleman who does my mailing, thankfully.
Right.
Because
oh my goodness.
I'm getting too old for that.
Right.
It's very heavy. Yeah, I can only make it because I do absolutely everything. The only thing I sub out is the mailing part, and then I have a CPA to do my taxes, but I do all the bookkeeping to get it
right
to
get
the
it there.
CPA.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of hats.
It's a lot of hats.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So what's your vision for the future of Consumer Report?
Well, what I'm working on right now is just trying to make it mobile phone friendly.
Okay.
It's not. It's computer. It's all digital, but it works great on computers, laptops, and tablets. But for the phone, it's still not set up properly. So I'm teaching myself how to do that right now. And once I can get that done, then I think we'll still be, going great.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to say that print media is dead, but it's really not. I mean, every one of my customers, they like the newspaper because it gets, delivered through the mail to every household.
Yeah.
And, we still have, it's not, I mean, I get a lot of emails from, say, 30-somethings from men and women who love my newspaper.
Oh yeah.
I read it.
I look forward to it every time I get it too.
I read it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
absolutely.
you. People say it's the only paper they read cover to cover.
Yeah, I would say that too.
And it's very local. Community newspapers are still making it. It's the daily newspapers that don't.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God that He's kept it going for over 25 years now. Not been easy, but I am proud of the newspaper. I'm proud of what we've done, and we've helped a lot of businesses get exposure. And a lot of businesses don't have a budget for advertising. And so when I do find that out, then I'm able to still promote them in ways that get their name out and help them get new customers.
Do you drop some of those at each business? Like a dental office or whatever, they get a couple of copies, right?
Yeah, we used to do that to about 150 locations out here. But most of the businesses anymore, they just want to, put them in the garbage. They don't want them hanging around. But yes, I do drop them at some dental offices and such. Especially, I always drop them if there's a request for it, because that's important.
absolutely.
And people like to thumb through them, you know, while they're waiting. I also do the local business directory. So that's all the businesses that either work with me or the businesses in the individual towns. If the city or town office works with me, then they send their business license list to me that I can put in the magazine. So it's like a phone book, but it's very local.
Do you do Meads too?
That's great.
I have done it for Mead, but I don't. I think that's the one that they do through the town of Mead and the Mead Chamber, and it's a little half size booklet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's through the town of Mead and the Chamber of Mead.
Wow.
Mead Area Chamber of Commerce.
Very cool. So if anybody is listening to this and interested in getting some advertising, they can just reach out to you directly.
Sure.
And we'll just make sure we have your contact info in the description. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I have the easiest address, email address out here. It's carbonvalley@gmail.com.
Oh, perfect. You were the first to own it. That's amazing.
And I get a lot of Carbon Valley whatever business emails sometimes.
I bet.
People just put Carbon Valley, so then I have to forward it on to the right full party.
Oh, that's too funny. Gosh, so 30 years out here. What's been your favorite part about watching the growth and development and just where Carbon Valley has gone to in 30 years? It's a huge change.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm like most people. We love our community and we don't want it to change too much.
Right.
You know, so it's like everybody wants the benefits of larger communities, but they like this small town feel.
Exactly.
So that's been interesting to, that has never changed. Everybody still feels that way. They won't want to get away from the hullabaloo of, even Longmont living and Longmont traffic.
Right.
And then they come out here and it just keeps growing and growing. I mean, seriously, none of this was out here. Just, farmhouses.
Do you remember what the population was back then?
Yeah, when I would do my mailing, it was 3,200 for all three communities to reach every single house.
Oh my gosh.
So that's just
That was
Firestone,
Frederick,
Dakota.
Firestone, Dakota was 3,200 to mail saturation mailing to the three zip codes.
Wow.
And then,
And
of
how many
course,
do you have now?
now it's over 24,000 just for the three communities, but it's upwards of around 30-some thousand if I mail to all of Mead, and that's not including all of Erie, because Erie goes quite far
Right. Yeah.
west.
Here it goes deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
And you have to remember that, we have different zip codes, Frederick and Erie overlap, and Dacono and Erie overlap, Firestone and Longmont overlap. So it's kind of crazy. If I mail to every single house, it's like 8 post offices we deliver to.
It's grown 100% in 30 years. That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
That is pretty crazy. Wow. What are some of the most rewarding moments that you've experienced with this newspaper?
Being able to help people who can't afford to help themselves. And we also, I do fundraisers for people. Like, we had a woman who needed brain surgery and she didn't have insurance. And so she had to have, I think it was around $4,500 to give her doctor before they would even consider doing the surgery.
Oh, wow.
And so we were able to raise through the readers, over $6,000 for her. And
So you just
That's
put something in the newspaper that says, "Hey, we're collecting money."
Mm-hmm. And so they can
Wow.
either put it to that person's name or they can send it to me. And then what I do is I have a Venmo account for that very purpose, that it's zeroed out when money starts coming in, and then all the money goes directly to them.
That's amazing.
So we've been able to help people that way.
Yeah, that's huge. Wow. That's what I do love that about this small town. People truly care about their neighbors here.
So do you advertise some of the nonprofits that are local?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so now, mostly everybody submits their stuff. Like the Carbon Valley Help Center, they send me stuff every single week. I help promote all the local events. So, you know, back in the day, I like for the 4th at Firestone, I would give a full page ad for the 4th at Firestone event, and the you know, all like they didn't do chainsaws and chuck wagons back then, but we still did the miners memorial.
Yeah.
So I was on the founding commission for the art commission in Frederick, and so I've always been really supportive of all those kind of events. And you know, we donated ad space for the upcoming Dacono Spirit Music Festival, and so I've done that for 25 years. Pretty much all of that is free when I help the local towns and the chamber and stuff with their events.
That's awesome.
I also all the text in the newspaper is free, so I only charge for the display ads.
Okay.
So even the obituaries are free. That was something that was really important to me. I don't know if hopefully you haven't had to know this, but obituaries are very expensive to
I would
publish.
never guess that. That's really sad.
And so so when I had a daughter who died 34 years ago, and I was so poor I could only afford like a notice. It was very short obituary because I had no money. It was back then that was over $100, and so I have always done free obituaries for everybody because they are so expensive. I just did one recently for somebody who said that they wanted to do the same obituary in their local paper, and it was $900.
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
I think that, you know, when we lose a loved one, we want to keep their memory alive for as long as possible.
Yeah.
We want people to know what happened or when their funeral is, and I think it's an area that
Just looking to capitalize on it.
yeah, exactly, they
that's-
capitalize on it.
That's awful.
So God has just really blessed me
Yeah,
in
that's
a lot of ways, and that's what I do for
love that.
people. So we do free birthday announcements. I have somebody who sends birthdays of their kids every single year. And but we do free birthday announcements, anniversary announcements. All the press releases are free. If you hire a new manager or something and you just want to, you know, share with the public who's in your office, all that's free. You just have to email it.
Awesome. I hope you all are listening out there. That's some
Yeah.
good stuff right there.
Yeah, and that's maybe something people don't know, that you do the obituaries for free.
It says right in my obituary banner that they're free.
Oh.
And also, you know, I've worked with the chamber, so I think if I'm not the oldest chamber member, I'm the second, or I could be the oldest one, but the longest time chamber member. Maybe I'm in the top 3. And so forever, all new members of the chamber get a free 16th page ad just as a benefit.
That's awesome.
Their coupon's supposed to be in their welcome packet. I know they've had a lot of changeovers, you know, with
Yeah.
the directors lately, but yeah, free ad for every new chamber business, chamber member business. So
I don't know that I knew that.
That's
yeah.
very cool. Wow, you really love giving back to the community. That's amazing.
I do as much as I possibly can. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Have your kids stayed in the area?
My son, so when my kids were in grade school when we moved out here, and yeah, they used to make fun of me because they thought this was the smallest, you know, Frederick was the smallest town in the nation. And as it turns out, he bought a home in Dacono.
Oh, I love that.
And then my daughter did stick around here quite a long time, but eventually she has gone to Thornton and then North Denver. So
At least that's a close
it's
drive.
still close.
Yeah, that's a close drive.
The traffic's terrible, but yes,
Yeah.
I could see them.
But she probably misses it out here, right? Like, you know.
I think so. I mean, it is still such nice communities.
Right. Right. Yeah, so you really have seen it grow.
Oh yeah, all of this, none of this was here.
Wow. So let's get your perspective on that for a moment. How would you describe the Carbon Valley to someone who's considering maybe a relocation out to here to where it's a little bit smaller, a little bit quieter? How would you describe it?
Well, I think everything that you need is within a few minutes driving, and so walking. And then if there's something that you can't find, it's usually within about 15 minutes.
Right.
I mean, where we live is the best of all worlds. We can get right into Denver. We can get into Fort Collins. We can head over to Wyoming. It's 2 hours away.
Right.
I mean, so we've got concerts and rodeos, and we have everything. And it's just super easy to get to from here.
That's awesome. Do you have any regrets about living here?
Absolutely not. In fact, the only thing I've ever told my husband no on was selling our house.
Oh.
I said, we are dying here.
I like it. Yes.
And now my grandkids love it here too. They have friends here, and they can, they can navigate around. So because they've been here so much.
Yeah.
So they go to all the events also. They know the 4th at Firestone and the wood carvings. And so, yeah,
Awesome.
I do not ever regret moving here. It's the best thing I've done in my life.
Now, not that we want to talk about this, but what about passing the torch? Do you think you're going to be able to pass the torch for the Consumer Report?
I would love to do that. I mean, it's my baby. And so I'd hate to see it just die out.
Right.
Yeah.
I am wanting to write full-time, so I'm open to passing the torch if there was somebody who was interested in learning the business and moving it forward. But it's not something that I work on every day or anything like that.
Right.
I've mentioned it now and again to people that I've thought about retiring, but I really don't think I'll ever retire. I think I'll write until the day I die, so I'll keep going until God stops it.
What are you going to write? Do you have a book in the works that are you going to disclose that right here on our sweet little podcast?
Well, I wrote a book on adoption in 2002.
Oh, cool.
And it's still selling, which I'm very proud of. I didn't get to enjoy it very much because 2 weeks after my book was released, my oldest son passed away.
Oh my goodness.
And so that's, been pretty rough, and it's caused a lot of fear in my life. So I have only written predominantly for the newspaper, but before that happened, I had the book published. You can still get it on Amazon. It's a beautiful book on adoption from all perspectives. So I'm working on a sequel to it.
Very cool.
But what I'm doing is interviewing all the babies who are now grown up.
That's a
from
great
the first book.
perspective. What's the title of the book?
It's the first one is Loved by Choice: True Stories That Celebrate Adoption. The second one is called I Am Loved by Choice: Growing Up Adopted. And then I have a parenting book that I've written that I'm shopping around called How to Tell Your Kids Not to Even Though You Did.
That's a good one.
And then I have a book on child loss, and then I write a lot of articles for magazines.
Wow, that's amazing. Are those articles being published now? Like, do you have some recent ones?
About 2 years ago, I wrote one on some kids in Meade who do the lemonade stand.
Oh, yeah.
And they donate their money to the veterans, the honor, where they send them to the Veterans Memorial.
Yeah.
And that was really popular.
That's
In
awesome.
fact, even the editors of the magazine said it's one of their best and favorite articles.
That's awesome.
And I've heard that, when they're teaching at writers' conferences, they've shared that. So they use that as an example for how they would like other authors to write articles. So that's good. I'm really proud of that one.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's very impressive.
But I write on women's issues and parenting and child loss and a lot of stuff pertaining to women mostly.
Beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that.
We could take you for a couple of rides to give us a little insight. You know, it sounds like you have a lot of, you have a lot of history and stories that you could probably share with people to probably make them, I don't know, handle loss more and that sort of thing. You know, that's sometimes something that people can't, it's hard to share.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that is my goal with all my writing, even in the newspaper, is that I do want people to realize that they're not alone in whatever they're going through.
Right. Yeah. It's, my son just had a good friend. He just lost his mom. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I didn't know if I could ask. And I was like, of course you ask. Like, he wanted to share that with you. So, you should. Am I on a road? I might have to, we might have to cut this out. But am I on a road that's going to get somewhere?
Yeah.
It's just a U-turn at the golf course.
Sorry. Anyway, he didn't know how to talk to his friend about losing his mother. And I thought, yeah, you can't. You got to be, he wanted to share that with you, so you need to, you need to ask questions. Anyway.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and the truth is, none of us really know what to say.
Right.
We absolutely don't. If we don't have those experiences, we don't have
Right.
Yeah.
the knowledge.
Right.
So, just saying, I'm there for you.
Right.
If you ever want to talk, or tell me a little bit more about your mom. I'm sorry I didn't get to meet her.
Right.
That's a
And
great line.
people don't like to bring up loss because they don't want to ruin their day. They
Right.
don't want to make them sad. But the truth is, we're already sad. We already, have a hard day. We do struggle.
Mhm.
And so it just helps to know that somebody else cares.
Yeah, or even just, being able to tell a little snippet or a tidbit
Mhm.
about your loved one so that, you can keep that memory alive, I think is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really.
I agree.
So, I encouraged him, he's a boy, so sometimes they're not really in tune with those emotions, but, just trying to teach him that it's okay to ask, and, his mom, he probably did want to talk about her.
Mhm.
So, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I think you gave him great advice.
Good, because sometimes I don't.
It's tough being a parent.
Yeah, it sure
I mean,
is.
we learn as we go.
Yeah.
That is so true.
That is for sure.
And each child is completely different.
Yes, they are.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Oh, I've got this. And then you're like, nope, that one's different.
Yep.
Well, shoot. Yeah. Anyway.
That's too funny. All right. Well, we'd like to end our episodes here with a few rapid fire questions, just so we can get to know you on a little bit more personal level. Although you were really wonderful with sharing a lot of great information about you, so just to help get some people in the community to know who Kelly is.
Mhm.
Are you a book reader or a podcast listener? I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it
Yeah.
anyway.
Book reader.
Book reader. What's one of your favorite books?
How about top 5? This is going to be a hard one.
So The Forgotten Way is probably one of my most read. It's such a good book by Ted Decker. It is just helping people learn their identity in the Lord. And
Wow.
I've read it like 10 times because I learn something new every time I read it, and it draws me closer to God. So that's
Add that to
probably
my
my
list.
favorite and most read.
Okay.
And it's not my most favorite as far as above the Bible,
Sure.
but it is my most read. And he just puts things in a way that you can really understand. But I write nonfiction, but I really typically hate to read nonfiction. I love fiction. I love historical novels. I love learning about our nation's history in a novel form.
Right.
So I can't really pick, I don't think, a novel.
That's okay. We'll take the genre. That's good. Do you have any fun hobbies outside of writing?
I love riding four-wheelers. I'm pretty dang good at it, and I wish there was a grandma's four-wheeler racing stock four-wheelers group I could get into.
Oh my gosh, if anybody knows of one, please tell her. That's awesome.
Comment below.
Yeah, comment below. That's awesome.
Or contact her. Maybe you all can start one together.
There you go.
Oh, now that would be fun.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Where do you like to go four-wheeling?
Well, we go up to Redcomb Pass a lot, and we go to Walden. But typically I love Ouray is my favorite,
beautiful.
and we go way up on all the mountain passes and go to the old ghost towns, and so I love Ouray area.
Do you have your own four-wheeler?
I did until I wrecked it.
Oh
Okay.
no.
But it was just a stupid little wreck that just destroyed it. So
And you're okay.
I'm
obviously.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I rear-ended my friend who had this huge hitch on the back of hers,
Oh,
and it
shoot.
literally just folded the inside of my quad
Oh, no.
internally, and it destroyed the whole computer system
Oh,
and
no.
everything.
Oh.
It was quite stupid.
Oh.
She stopped because of bad dust and traffic. At the same time, I reached into my helmet to get a fly out of my helmet. And luckily, we were only going like 10 miles an hour. So
Oh,
it was
gosh.
really stupid. It's not a fun, I mean,
Wow.
funny, but it's not one of those, like, oh my gosh,
Right.
I'm so glad you're okay. It wasn't like that.
Oh, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
What's one of your favorite restaurants here in the Carbon Valley?
I can't really say because I don't want to. I have a lot of favorite restaurants.
Can you give us your top 5 or top 3?
No,
No?
because I make enemies.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right.
You wouldn't
yeah.
believe that. how
Look,
that has turned
I do
out.
believe that actually. Yeah. So let's. All right. I'll cut that question out.
Yeah. So let's just wait till I'm through this bumpy little
Yeah.
four-wheeling
There we go.
area.
We'll just cut that segment out.
Yeah.
All right. What do you do for fun out here on the weekends in the Carbon Valley?
Well, I just took my grandkids to the splash pad in Dacono, and that was a blast.
I love that place. Yeah.
Is it new?
No, it's been there
It's
for
been
a while.
there for a while.
But it's free, and it's just
Yeah.
open all summer long. You can take
Yeah.
your kids there.
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun.
Lots
yeah.
of fun. And then you just sit and you visit with people, the other parents or grandparents, and kids just run around and
That's
have a
awesome.
blast, especially with this weather.
Yes, that's at Clem de Four Park. So if you
Yes.
haven't been out there to that, take your kids, or just go yourself and have some fun and cool down. It's awesome.
Some other places for people who want to learn, like dirt bike riding, they have the BMX track. They have
Right.
IMI also in Dacono. And both those places are great family weekend events. If you've got a little four-wheeler, a little motorcycle, side by side, you can ride all those at IMI. And we've taken our grandkids out there, and they've been able to, practice riding. And the BMX track is like a national track. They have
Wow.
national competitions there. And that's right by where they're doing the Spirit Festival.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, I don't know if it's a actual park.
I'm trying to think. Is that the one that's just behind?
Just
Clem de Four?
beyond, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I didn't even know that was there until my daughter had softball practice on that field, and then we were over there and I'm like, what is that across the way there? Yeah. Very cool. Man, there's so many surprises, so many hidden gems out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are. Where did you get your love for writing?
My husband probably.
Yeah.
I grew up kind of poor and was poor when we were dating. So he started dating me when I had 4 kids. Believe that. I thought he was crazy. But we got married. Unfortunately, I've lost 2 of my kids, but he always took us camping and bought a 4-wheeler, taught the kids how to ride. He's been riding his whole life, so I even got my street bike motorcycle license, and we do a lot that way.
That's awesome. How long have you been married?
33 years.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
And how many grandkids do you have?
I have 4 from my daughter, and we have 3 from his son.
Nice.
And we have a great granddaughter from his son side.
That's exciting. You're not old enough to be a great grandma.
I am.
I am.
That's great.
That is great.
What's the biggest change that you've seen in the Carbon Valley? How about that?
Oh, that's a good question.
The loss of farmland.
Mm.
I highly respect and admire farmers.
Right.
And so seeing all that just continue to go away is rough. I do think that we have beautiful communities. I think the growth is inevitable.
Right.
I think that our governments are doing the very best they can with all the influx of new people and the traditionalists.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of sad. When we moved out here, I could watch the sunrise and the sunset. And now I can catch glimpses,
Yeah.
between houses and trees. But I think that's really tough, and I think it's tough on America to lose farmland like that.
Right. Yeah.
But we do have a lot of land out here that's still available to do the right thing with
It is.
it. So
I like it.
That's awesome. Well, Kelly, we enjoyed our, I don't even know how much time, 30 minutes with you.
me too. Thanks.
I think you are a huge part of this community. You've helped with the growth. You've helped, just listen. You've been an outlet for people to tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how what we're trying to do too is, share the community with the community. And, you've done it in print. People can go back and read lots of stories and stuff. So thank you so much for that. You are what we love about the community.
Yes.
Thank you. That's very nice to hear. I could send you the link where people could look at lots of, 12 years worth of newspapers.
Oh, that would be great.
If you would like.
Yeah.
Because that could show people kind of the growth over the years if they wanted to see the stability.
Yeah,
And
we'd love to see
also, if anybody hears this and wants to get an ad, I could do like a 20% discount off a new client ad for watching it on your podcast.
Oh, that would be
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We'll make sure we add that down in the comments for everybody as well. Yeah,
So
well,
anyway,
thank you.
everyone, we hope you enjoyed learning about Kelly, and you understand that the home you buy is more. I just messed that up.
That's okay. Start again. We'll cut that out.
What did we say?
It's more than the
Yeah.
front door.
Yeah, sorry, Kelly. We hope you understand that the home you buy is more than the front door that you purchased. So get out there, enjoy your community, meet your neighbors, and love where you live. Bye for now.
Bye.